Well, hello everybody, I am JayLeonardJ, and today we are checking out the Rossie filter by GFI Systems. Well, ladies and gentlemen, big day for me. I'm gonna have a lot of fun. I'm gonna get a little unhinged, I'm gonna get a little funky, a little rhythmic with this pedal over here, the Rossie filter pedal. I love playing with filter pedals. So much fun. This is no exception. The Rossie filter by the fine folks at GFI Systems has three different types of filters built in. You have an envelope filter for classic envelopey funky sounds. You have a manual filter if you just want to focus on a frequency or create a wah sounds with an external pedal. And last but not least, you have a step filter sound which will cycle through different points of the filter spectrum for nice bubbly effects. There's a tap tempo, super cool. On board, it's all digitally controlled here, and you have two presets you can easily switch between and save to make life really, really easy today. But today, I'm just gonna create some sounds with it. I'll show you some cool things to do with all three settings. I got a Fender Telecaster with my custom J.M.A pickups by Tone Specific and Stringjoy strings, and I'm going into a Tone King Imperial. All right, let's plug this thing in, have some fun. Well, we are all wired up and ready to go. There's three modes on this pedal, and let's just start off with the envelope filter. Good starting off point. There's manual here. We switch modes by this knob here, step and envelope. So there we are, envelope, envelope. I'm not sure what that is. We have a mix knob. That's how much of our clean sound we want. So the more we back off, the more of the clean we hear. So we'll just get a little bit of the clean there. Range is how much of that frequency spectrum we want to go up and down when we activate that envelope. And we have sensitivity. I'll put sensitivity around noon. If I hold down on this button, we can choose the width of the Q. And so let's start off with a high Q. And then here is our filter type if I hold down and turn it. So I'm going to go with the old band pass filter. That just cuts off the lows, cuts off the high. There's a middle chunk that just moves up and down, and it's super funky. This is my guitar. And this is the envelope filter, the Rossie. Oh, yes it is. If I back off here, the Q, we could go low. I like the low sometimes when I want a cleanish kind of sound. That little band pass filter, it's not quite as pointy. It's a little bit more rounded, a little bit more subtle. If I go up to the higher side of things, like high, it's a little bit more pointy. Actually, let's go even higher. There's sharp, and that's really pointy. Oh, yes, yes. Let's go play with some other sounds here. Here's the high pass filter. I'm gonna go to the high pass mode, and that just removes the lows as we move up and down the filter. Now, typically, I never use this setting because I do find it to be a bit on the bright side when I use it. It's really in your face, but sometimes a little too grating, and that's where the mix knob really comes in handy. I can bring some of that mix in there, so the low end will be nice and tight, and I'll have this really crazy upper end, which is really fun. We have the low pass filter, which removes highs. And look at this, we could even change the direction. We've been going upwards. Let's move downwards and get this like really kind of vacuum sucky kind of sound. Last but not least, we have the LP plus high P. That's a peaking frequency. So we have the full range of our sound, all the lows, all the highs. So we don't need to use the clean blend as much. And then there's this little peaking hump that moves up and down. Sounds really good with fuzzes, actually. Check this out. I'm gonna go back upwards in the direction, and let's hear what that sounds like. Up next is the manual filter. Now the manual filter, instead of having our little notch move up and down when we hit the strings, what's gonna happen is we pick a spot for that notch to be in the frequency range and it'll just stay there. We could just keep it there. So the range works pretty much the same way, but this parameter knob, it's gonna sweep within that range to find a spot that we like. We still have control over our filter type, and I could change the Q as well. So here's the lower Q. A little bit smoother, and we have this cool cocked wah sound. Now the real fun of the manual mode actually comes from using it with an expression pedal. We can actually create a wah pedal. I have a Mission Engineering expression pedal and it's going into the expression pedal out. And what I can do is I can map it to any knob that I want. In this case, the parameter knob. So that way when I use my expression pedal, it will create an expression pedal sound. The way I do it is I find my low point, hold down, and that will be my heel. And then I just move it all the way to the top to create my toe sound. And all of a sudden, let's move the Q to something a little bit tighter for a more traditional wah sound. Last but not least, we have the step filter mode. Now this one is just a ton of fun to play. You'll get in a trance-like state and it's just absolutely beautiful chaos, I'll tell you. It's a collection of different manual filters. You choose the frequency that you want those filters to be at and the pedal will just cycle through them. Really wonderful, simple thing, but really wonderful effects. You can choose the amount of steps you want, the amount of filters you want, and then you can edit them. So if I move this range knob, you can see that's more high pitched, and then this is low pitched for the first filter. And I can just edit all the different steps with these two knobs over here. I can go as low as I want, as high as I want to create some really cool stuff. Let's just hear what this sounds like. There's also a tap tempo on board, so I can set a really nice tempo for myself. Different subdivisions as well. And that is the Rossie filter by GFI Systems. Well, that is it. That is the video. Thank you all so much for watching. Please subscribe to the page if you haven't already. Check out the links in the description below. And if you want to hear my review on the Rossie, check it out on Patreon. I do all my reviews on Patreon, sponsored by the Patreon supporters, and all my demos, tutorials, and lessons are right here for you on YouTube. My question for all you subscribers out there in subscriber land is, any of you rocking a filter style pedal on your board, either an envelope filter or a wah, a step filter, please write it down. I get so excited when I see a friend's board and I get to play a board with an envelope filter. It's just hours of fun. I'm curious how many of you are rocking that sound in your sound. That being said, I guess I'll see you all soon. Take care and goodbye.